While the 3.5 Xuanfang and Mengzhou livestream gave us plenty of details, it also left us with a couple of unanswered questions. One of these, naturally, is what Hsin, the sentinel of Mengzhou's power, exactly is. We know that Jue in Jinzhou is capable of manipulating time, while Imperator is capable of splitting and manipulating space, both of which Rover is now using to some degree in the story. However, Hsin's power as the newest sentinel in Wuthering Waves' roster is still a little bit of an enigma, so in this video I want to do a bit of a dive into what may her power actually be. The 3.5 livestream gave us some critically important lore details. To save us all some time, I'm just going to quickly summarize the most important ones for today's video and topic. Firstly, we learned about auto-puppets, defensive mechanical robots that protect Xuanfang City. The very architecture of the city itself seems to also be able to turn into auto-puppets on command, and considering that it was revealed that the Court of Cervantes collaborated with Hsin to build Xuanfang, I suspect that they also had a part to play in creating the auto-puppets. Secondly, Hsin has been directly attributed to having created the auto-puppets. While the CSC and perhaps other organizations have built the physical shell of Xuanfang City and the auto-puppets, it seems that Hsin is responsible for filling them with some kind of soul or frequency that provides them automation. Thirdly, we can visibly see that Hsin has a human form as opposed to any other sentinels we've seen in-game, and I think we can reasonably suspect that her human form, or shell perhaps, has something to do with whatever powers she may hypothetically have. Fourthly, the 3.5 Segue Quest teaser showed that an artisan coveted Hsin's power for some reason, which we will discuss later. So when we collate these 4 points together, I think that Hsin's sentinel power is pointing towards something to do with creation, especially in regards to her role in creating the auto-puppets. While the Court of Cervantes and humans build the physical shell and machinery, it may be that Hsin fills them with some kind of frequency, emotion, or soul. The reason I'm rather confident in this theory is because Kura has already released a snapshot of the echoes in Xuanfang and Mengzhou, and within the description of the kernel puppets, we've seen that it says that they are created and filled with Hsin, or the heart's abundant emotions. What's rather interesting about these echoes is that they have 6 variants, one for each of Hsin's apparent emotions. There is joy, anger, worry, reflection, grief, and fright. You may notice that in the previous video, we deconstructed the Chinese lyrics of the opening song of Mengzhou, Isis. There was a particular line we deconstructed there, which talks about the puppets of the heart, or Hsin, falling to the 6 desires, or Liuyu. The Liuyu, as discussed prior, are from the Chinese concept of the 6 senses, being sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, and thought. It was thought that desires would arise from these senses, which was first outlined in the Lushi Chunqiu, or Master Lu's Spring and Autumn Annals. The Liuyu, or 6 desires, was developed to later become a part of the Qi Liuyu, or 7 emotions and 6 desires, which has even become now a part of traditional Chinese medicine. What's fascinating is that the 7 emotions previously mentioned here actually seem to correspond quite well to the 6 kernel puppets built from Hsin's emotions that form the echoes of Xuanfang: joy to joy, anger to anger, worry perhaps to desire and longing, grief to sorrow and sadness, and fright to fear. While there are some matches missing, I think you can see that the parallels between these seem beyond coincidence. So this supports our theory that Hsin may be some kind of emotional engine that can impart feelings or frequencies, which are a kind of condensation of emotions in Wuthering Waves into machines to provide them a kind of soul. The trailer for the Xuanfang special record is quite interesting as well. The very last line of script translates to an anomaly within the kernel, which seems to refer both to a kind of computer system crash as well as the current kernel echoes. As Shuangfang's philosophy from the 3.5 stream seems to emblemize traditional feng shui, where technology and architecture fuses with nature and emotion, I think that Hsin, especially since we covered before that she is the heart or the emotional engine of the 7 mansions of the Azure Dragon that Huanglong Sentinels are based on, actually has a power that either has to do with manipulating frequencies or more likely emotions. This actually makes sense with the final point, the teaser for the 3.5 Segway quest, which shows that an artisan covets Hsin's power. Think about what an artisan wants and what Hsin can do: imbue emotions into objects and grant them a kind of sentience. The first thing that I think about is the classical story of Pygmalion, a Greek sculptor who fell in love with the statue that he created, leading to it eventually coming to life. While the easy conclusion for this segue would be that an organization like the Thraxtus wants Hsin's power, why would they specifically be talking about an artisan? Would it not be the dream of an artist or artisan for their creation to come to life, to create the true magnum opus? To me, considering all the other evidence of Hsin's power and her influence on the city we are about to go to, it just seems like a parallel conclusion that if an artist wants Hsin's power, that would be what they want. But what do you think? This will probably be the last video before Mengzhou releases, so I'll be getting ready for that. If you like this sort of content, feel free to subscribe, comment, even become a channel member. As always, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you all in the next one.